The knock came just before sunset, the kind that sounded hesitant, almost apologetic, as if the person standing outside already expected to be turned away. When Nathan opened the front door of his quiet home in Asheville, North Carolina, his entire world froze. Standing on the porch was Claire, his ex-wife's younger sister, with a single suitcase, swollen red eyes, and the exhausted expression of someone who had spent too many nights crying alone. She looked nothing like the cheerful young woman he remembered from family holidays years ago. Before Nathan could even ask why she was there, she whispered the words that would change both of their lives forever. She had nowhere left to go. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of helping someone when they need it most, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that remind us what truly matters. Nathan had spent 3 years rebuilding the life that fell apart after his painful divorce from Rachel. The marriage had ended quietly but painfully after years of growing apart, misunderstandings and disappointments neither of them knew how to fix. When the papers were finally signed, Nathan promised himself he would never allow the past to follow him again. He sold the family house, bought a smaller place on the edge of town, buried himself in work as a home renovation contractor, and slowly learned how to enjoy the silence that once frightened him. Claire had always been different from her older sister. She was thoughtful, kind, and never took sides during the divorce. Even after Nathan and Rachel separated, Claire occasionally sent a holiday card or wished him happy birthday through social media, nothing more. Their lives moved in different directions until that unexpected evening when she appeared at his door carrying the weight of heartbreak on her shoulders. Nathan invited her inside without asking questions. Sometimes people needed shelter before explanations. Claire sat quietly at the kitchen table, wrapping both hands around a mug of hot tea while trying to gather enough strength to tell the story. 6 weeks before her wedding, she had discovered her fiancé had been living a double life. Years of trust had vanished in a single afternoon after she accidentally uncovered messages he never intended for her to see. When she confronted him, he admitted everything. The wedding was canceled. Deposits were lost. Friendships were damaged. Worst of all, the apartment they shared belonged to his family, and she was asked to leave almost immediately. The hardest part was not losing the engagement. It was realizing how quickly people disappeared once celebrations turned into disappointments. Friends became busy. Relatives offered sympathy but no spare room. Even Rachel, dealing with problems of her own several states away, could only apologize for being unable to help. Eventually, with nowhere else to turn, Claire remembered the one person who had always treated her with genuine respect. Nathan struggled with the decision. Every logical part of his mind warned him that allowing his ex-wife's sister into his home would invite unnecessary complications. Neighbors would talk, old memories would return, yet every compassionate part of his heart reminded him that kindness should never depend on convenience. He prepared the guest room, handed Claire a fresh towel, and simply told her she could stay until she found her footing again. Days slowly turned into weeks. Claire found a temporary job at a neighborhood bookstore while Nathan continued renovating old homes across western North Carolina. They rarely discussed the past. Instead, they shared quiet dinners, watched old movies on rainy evenings, and discovered that healing sometimes happens not through grand speeches but through ordinary moments shared with someone who understands pain. Nathan noticed small changes in Claire first. Her forced smiles became genuine. The dark circles beneath her eyes slowly faded. She laughed again while helping him paint a hallway one Saturday afternoon, accidentally leaving a streak of blue paint across his cheek. It was probably the first carefree laugh either of them had experienced in years. What Nathan did not expect was how much Claire's presence healed him too. Living alone had convinced him he was over his divorce. But loneliness often disguises itself as independence. Having another person around reminded him what warmth felt like. Breakfast conversations returned. Weekend grocery trips became something to look forward to. The empty house gradually felt like a home again. Still, both understood the complicated history standing quietly between them. Claire was Rachel's sister. Nathan had once been family. Crossing emotional boundaries felt almost impossible even though neither of them spoke about it. Then came the phone call. Rachel called unexpectedly after learning where Claire had been staying. Nathan expected anger or accusations. Instead, Rachel surprised him. She thanked him. She admitted she had been unable to help because of financial struggles after losing her own job. Then she said something Nathan never imagined hearing. She told him Claire had always admired his kindness, even during the marriage. She said that perhaps life had simply taken everyone on different paths for reasons none of them understood at the time. Rachel wished them both happiness before ending the conversation. Those few minutes lifted years of unspoken guilt. Months passed. Claire eventually saved enough money to rent her own apartment nearby, but when moving day arrived, neither of them seemed excited. The silence while packing boxes revealed feelings both had tried to ignore. Nathan realized he dreaded returning to an empty house. Claire admitted she no longer thought of his home as temporary. It had become the first place where she had truly felt safe after everything collapsed. Their relationship did not begin with fireworks or dramatic confessions. It began with gratitude, respect, and countless ordinary days that slowly grew into something extraordinary. They chose patience over impulse, honesty over secrecy, and kindness over fear. A year later, they were married in a small countryside chapel surrounded by close friends and family. Even Rachel attended with a peaceful smile, proving that forgiveness sometimes writes endings far more beautiful than revenge ever could. Nathan often reflected on that single knock at the door. If he had allowed pride, awkwardness, or old resentment to answer instead of compassion, both of them might have continued carrying their broken hearts alone. Instead, one simple act of kindness transformed two shattered lives into one hopeful future. Life has a remarkable way of introducing blessings disguised as burdens. Sometimes the people who arrive carrying suitcases full of heartbreak also carry opportunities to remind us that love is rarely about perfect timing. It is about showing up when someone has nowhere left to go. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who still believes in hope. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that celebrate compassion, healing, and second chances. Special request: before you leave, please comment with the words, "Kindness changes lives." We'd love to know how many people still believe that one act of compassion can change someone's future. As Nathan and Claire watched the sun set from the porch of the home that had once been filled with silence, they realized happiness had never arrived through perfect plans. It came quietly, disguised as an unexpected knock on the door, reminding them that sometimes the greatest chapters of our lives begin only after the stories we thought would last forever come to an end. And in that peaceful moment, they both understood that home is not simply the place where you live, it is the place where someone opens the door when the rest of the world has closed theirs.